3 under construction, and 19 projects are now complete. Just on the side, he mentioned another project he's launching. So that changes the numbers again. Interestingly, this is his third studio. It's the first one he established when he was a third-year student. The second firm he started with Julian Schmidt, another super talented architect. We met while he was working with one of the world's most famous architects, Brennan Koolhaus, OMA. Bjarke opened his current studio, or firm, in Copenhagen in 2006, and he calls it the Bjarke Ingels Group, or BIG for short. In 5 years, Bjarke has made his presence felt around the world with international projects in every corner of the map, including a high-rise in China that's shaped like a Chinese character for people, a donut-shaped museum in Greenland, and an incineration plant in Denmark that has a sloping rooftop that will double as a ski hill. These are all fabulous, really big projects. They're very imaginative, they're unforgettably dramatic, they're mostly sustainable, and they're very, very playful. That's a characteristic that Bjarke has continually worked on in his project. You can see playfulness in everything he works playfulness in all of his projects. You can see it in the buildings. Another example that I love is the firm's first published monologue. It took the form of a comic book. He called it Architomic, and its title was Yes is More. It's a timely and upbeat take on the famous mantra from last century, less is more. We're proud to be the sponsor of the IDS talk today, and we're excited to be welcoming Bjarke Ingels on the stage today. Give me a warm hand.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here in Canada. I'd like to sort of share a few ideas that have been evolving over the last sort of 10 years of working with architecture, dealing with the potential role that architects can play in society. Because I believe that the architects have to be more than just designers of beautiful facades or like expressive sculptures. We have to be designers of ecosystems. So channel not only the flow of people, but also the flow of resources through our cities and buildings. And you can say, like, one of the reasons for this, you can call it sort of expanded role of the architect. You can find in the atmosphere of this photo. It was taken at the United Nations Conference of Climate Change in Copenhagen a year and a half ago, almost 3 years ago. And as you can see from the photo on the faces of Brown and Merkel, Sarkozy especially, and Obama, it wasn't exactly a party. It was a complete failure. Essentially, all of the goals that have been established for the COP15 were missed. The general discussion about sustainability was drowning in this sort of general misconception that sustainability is a question of how much of our current life quality we are prepared to sacrifice in order to afford being sustainable. So essentially this idea that, you know, it has to hurt to do good. So when we were asked to look at designing the Danish pavilion for the Shanghai World Expo in 2010, where the subject was sustainability, we thought, right, what if sustainable cities and buildings could actually increase the quality of life? That would sort of completely radically change the idea of sustainability. So we tried to sort of accumulate all of the elements of Danish city life, where what makes the city sustainable also makes it more enjoyable. We conceived of the pavilion as a loop of a Danish street, where people could bicycle around the pavilion. It has a blue bicycle lane to Denmark, and the city bikes. In Copenhagen, 37% of the people commute by bicycle. So that means that they're never stuck in a traffic jam. In Shenzhen, a year and a half ago, there was an 11-day traffic jam. So some poor bastard was stuck in traffic for 11 days. That's the opposite of hedonism. So essentially you could bicycle through the exhibition and feel how fun it is to ride through the city instead of like searching endlessly for a parking spot. Also at the heart of the pavilion, like Copenhagen is a port city, but our port water has become so clean that you can actually swim in it. Our first project sort of extended city life of Copenhagen into the water in the Copenhagen Harbor Bath, and as a sort of way of allowing the visitors of the pavilion to experience how clean, if not how cold, the Danish harbor water is. We created this harbor bath in the middle of the pavilion. And finally, sort of in the middle of this little fragment of Copenhagen Harbor, we were looking for sort of common denominators. How could we actually capture the attention of the Chinese and make them come and experience sustainable life in Copenhagen? And we noticed that in the public school curriculum in China, they have 3 fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen, including the story of the Little Mermaid, sort of the national symbol of Denmark. So we proposed to move the mermaid to China for 6 months. Not a copy, but the actual mermaid. I had to go and argue her case in Parliament because the Danish equivalent of the Tea Party, the Danish Nationalist Party, tried to pass a law specifically against moving the mermaid. And as you can see, we got her. We also managed to get her through Chinese customs and into the pavilion. In her absence, we invited the Chinese artist Ai Weiwei to do an art piece. And what he did was that he installed a Chinese surveillance camera, the same camera that the Chinese state has installed in front of his studio. He installed it in the pavilion, and this camera was not, spying on the mermaid. It was actually transmitting a live image to where she normally sits in Copenhagen, so that the tourists that would go in vain would see that she was okay. He called it the Mermaid Exchange, because for 6 months, if you know sort of Ai Weiwei's political agenda, it actually became sort of a loophole in the Great Firewall of China, and was like the only sort of uncensored live TV feed from China to the rest of the world. So you said like the Danish pavilion was our first take on what you could call sort of a hedonistic sustainability. While in China, we got invited to compete to design the headquarters of the Shenzhen Energy Company. It's the energy company that powers the most industrious region in the world. Probably half the stuff in this fair has been manufactured in Shenzhen. And it's essentially like it's a 1 million square foot office building in a sort of subtropical climate. The big dilemma is like, how can you avoid thermal exposure and glare while sort of maximizing daylight and views. And what we did is that we designed the facade in a very simple way, that it basically opens up completely to the north for the cold and soft daylight, but it blocks the direct thermal exposure from the south. And this sort of, it's almost like sort of an easy Miyagi fabric. When you look south, you see these sort of bamboo veneer walls washed in daylight. When you look north, it's a panoramic view. And basically, with this idea, you can sort of pull out to create an executive lobby. At the top, you can create entrances. And this sort of almost like an Easy Miyagi fabric essentially reduces the thermal exposure and the air conditioning consumption with 30%. So like this very basic idea, there's no technology, it's purely the way you design the facade. Actually, sort of, I think you can say what makes the building look different is also what makes it perform different. And we won the competition and are breaking ground in March this year.